back into this. Resume game. I'm having so much fun playing this game. Whee! Alright, Zellner, with your fancy watch. We have his wallet and the sachet.
These little sachets contain the evidence we've collected. At least the evidence that fits in little sachets.
Yes, that is true. We want to find people to talk to. We would like to find a captain. We can't go into the Baroness's cabin now, though. But we would like to find a captain. I don't know if he... Oh, here he is. Yes.
Captain DeConti is sitting at the bar again. He gave me the glass of champagne last night. Hello, Captain DeConti.
Maybe.
Hey, Constable Zellner. You're back on your feet again. Glad to see it.
What was your experience of last night?
Oh, terrible. Dinner was fantastic. Everyone was excited about having a pleasant drink under the stars. And then this.
You were in the saloon all night long.
As the captain, I have to care for my passengers. After you and the others rushed out, I tried to maintain a festive atmosphere. But when the alarm goes off, I lose the battle.
How was the Baroness?
She really surprised me. After she was so unapproachable at the reception and didn't show her face for the entire afternoon, I was afraid she was one of the beaux and bourgeoisie. But then she arrived in the early evening in the best of moods. Already had a few, if you know what I mean.
Did she say anything to you?
She asked me where Legrand's cabin was. I told her, then invited her to come for drinks in the evening. I said it would be great fun. The whole ship will be there, and you don't want to miss that, I told her.
And then?
She seemed to like the idea. She smiled, and then left again for a few minutes. Then she came back and seemed very happy. We drank a toast to life.
Aww.
But at some point she didn't feel well anymore?
She overdid it a bit. She suddenly started to swoon and almost spilled her drink. I asked her if she wanted to rest for a moment in her cabin. At first, she didn't want to. She definitely wanted to stay in the saloon. But then she realized that she really did need to lie down. We left together. You know the rest of the story.
What can you tell me about the passengers?
Oh, not that much, I'm afraid. I wanted to get to know them properly at the reception. In most cases, I just shook hands with them as they boarded the ship. There are a few regulars on board, and after dinner, I had a conversation with Mr. Kreutzer, a talented violinist, and Lady Westmacott. But you already know them from the train.
It seems like there aren't that many passengers on board.
These bloody airplanes are making our lives miserable. Can you imagine? Grown men prefer to jam themselves into a narrow metal coffins instead of enjoying the fresh sea air on a ship.
It's all about saving time.
It shouldn't be about how much time it takes to get from A to B, but about how you spend that time. What you experience on the journey, that's what it's about.
It's true. It's true.
Is it possible to find out where the alarm was set off?
I'm afraid not. There are alarms all over the ship.
I saw that they're sealed. Can't we just check whether the seal is broken?
I'm afraid they're gonna be missing on a lot of alarms. You know, this is an old ship, and over the years...
So, you're saying that the alarms haven't been regularly maintained?
I'll inform the crew immediately, of course.
Of course. Did everyone drink from the same bottle of champagne last night?
There was more than one bottle, if that's what you mean. There were quite a few guests, and the event lasted several hours.
The last bottle of champagne, the one the Baroness drank from, did anyone else drink from it?
Certainly.
We have reason to believe that the champagne was drugged.
Incredible. But wouldn't that have made everyone drowsy?
Not if it was only the Baroness's glass that was drugged.
I see. That's possible. On a night like that, many glasses are filled and emptied. There are several stewards, many guests. No one keeps track of every glass and every bottle.
A few drops in a glass?
Yes, it's certainly possible.
The glass you handed me last night, where did you get it?
Ah, I understand. You think your glass was poisoned as well?
Yes.
Did you pour it yourself?
No. I saw that you weren't doing so well and wanted to rescue the situation. I took the first available glass and I give it to you.
Yeah, you were just having
Was it on the table?
No, I hurry over to you, together with Dr. Gebhardt, who... Of course. He had the glass in his hand. He was looking around for a place to set it down,
Yes,
so that
exactly.
he could examine you.
Ha!
I
Knew
took it from him.
And gave it to me.
I'd like to apologize for that, but you look so worse for the wear, and I just wanted to comfort you. I didn't think of looking for a new glass for you.
Of course.
So the doctor had the drugged glass in his hand. I'll get
Yes.
back to my investigations now.
Ciao,
Well-
Constable.
Alright, I think that maybe when we talked to Legrand, maybe we triggered, like, the captain and the guests and stuff, because she was not
Lady
here before.
Westmacott seems to be an early bird. But maybe that's just because of all the excitement. I saw a twinkle in her eye on the train. She's eager to be part of a real detective story.
Just talk to her.
Lady Westmacott, already on your... Oh,
Constable, don't you think before you speak?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to...
No time for chit-chat. What have you found out?
We're still working on the case. Actually, I have a couple of questions for you.
Please, go ahead.
What did you think of our adventure on the train? An extraordinary story, isn't it?
I'm glad that you were able to prove yourself, Mr. Zellner.
Hopefully not for the last time.
I'm glad that everything ended well. I want to thank you sincerely for taking care of Matthew. I can't bear to think about something happening to him.
It all worked out in the end. Do you think that the thief from the train and the murderer are the same person?
I think the new Raven is capable of anything.
Yes.
Legrand believes there is no new Raven. He thinks that the old one has returned.
He said that.
Do you think it's possible? Everyone thinks he's dead.
As a dramatist, the return of the Raven would certainly be delightful. A legend comes back from the grave for one last job. It's quite romantic. At the same time, though, I'd be disappointed.
Why is that?
I followed the Raven's career closely. There weren't many burglars with such character and charm. His burglaries were clever and entertaining, but he was sloppy in London. He almost got caught, and I'll never forgive him for the affair on the train. No, I would much rather that the Raven stayed dead and had nothing to do with the burglary or the murder.
Yeah.
Have you noticed anything related to the murder?
Unfortunately not. I was already in my cabin and missed all the commotion. Damnable old age.
You're telling me.
Oh, you're still young. At my age, you have to expect that you won't experience much anymore. And although I've written about murder so many times, I've never actually witnessed one. How exciting.
I doubt everyone is so relaxed in such a situation.
Heartless is the word you're searching for, right, Constable? I certainly didn't want the Baroness to be murdered, but if I can't undo it, then I might as well enjoy it.
That's actually true.
What do you think? Who is our suspect?
Everyone, or almost everyone. Everyone on board is physically capable of shooting someone, but who has the dark desire to take the life of a defenseless person?
One cannot read minds.
And one should not try. You have to collect evidence, traces, clues, That's what will lead us to the
that's what
killer.
we're doing.
It won't be like a bad crime novel, in which they introduce a new character shortly before the end who, surprise, surprise, is also the murderer.
Murderers leave evidence. They're nervous or unnaturally relaxed. They have to adjust constantly.
And because of that, they make mistakes. This is your chance, Constable. If you find the mistake, you'll find your murderer.
What do you think of Inspector Legrand?
He seems to be as skilled as everyone says. Intelligent, focused. I had a chat with him yesterday, and he impressed me, but there's something haunted in his eyes.
I don't think he ever really stopped hunting the raven.
Catching the raven made him famous. What if he actually shot the wrong person?
Exactly.
Unjustified fame bothers people, the good ones at least.
And you think he's one of the good ones?
Anyone who tries so hard to tear down his own memorial must be honourable. Or insane.
I have to be going, Lady Westmacott.
Please keep me informed, Constable Zellner.
Of course.
Alright, let's check our journal. For stuffs. Not that one. Oh, I don't think we've read this. A bomb! There's a bomb in the safe. He nearly blew us all to smithereens, a damn criminal. Legrand blames himself for not having checked the cash box, but I don't think he's right to do so. The Raven must have planted the bomb in the box before it was placed in the safe at the bank. An incredible feat. And the letter. How did he manage to place a letter in the safe with 3 people standing nearby? The purpose of the attack is clear enough, though. The Raven wanted Legrand out of the way in order to be able to swipe the second eye at his leisure, but he's achieved just the opposite. Legrand won't give up. That's obvious. And I, too, have a new reason to bring that criminal to justice. The violinist, Kreutzer, claimed he was drunk last night and no longer recalls what transpired. The murder weapon belongs to him, a Luger 08. Is he really such a drunkard? Or is it just an act? And then there's the possibility that someone's trying to pin it all on him. That would explain why they didn't toss the Luger into the sea to cast suspicion on the violinist. Violinist, maybe. Compartment, Baroness von Trebitz. Baroness von Trebitz has been murdered. Terrible. The first corpse I've seen up close. She was laying in a pool of her own blood on her bed. Even though I could hardly stand at the time, it's a sight I'll never forget. Let's see. Those people. Dr. Gebhardt. Constable's not too pleased that I'm on board. I think he's jealous. He wants to be Legrand's right-hand man. It's not just as though I'm after his job. I'd rather lead than follow. Shadow train. 3 keys. Legrand fooled everyone. He took the 3rd key from the Baroness, supposedly because he was worried about her messiness. Regardless, the 3rd key was never really in danger, but the Baroness is dead now and Legrand must ask himself if he's to blame. He led us all to believe that she had the 3rd key. Captain de Conti. The ship doesn't seem to be all that well maintained. Our stowaway is a young man of Arabian roots. Constable Oliver spotted him on the upper deck and Legrand took into custody. What we do know is that the Baroness von Trebitz was shot while we were busy with the stowaway working with the murderer, blah blah blah. The murder of Baroness von Trebitz. The Baroness was murdered while Legrand, Constable Oliver, and Dr. Gebhardt were searching for the shadow that the constable spotted. We heard the shot, and moments later we were at the Baroness's cabin. The door was locked from the inside, and the Baroness was dead. She was laying in a bed in a pool of blood, blah blah blah. Sometimes I don't remember if I've read it before, so... According to Dr. Gebhardt, the Baroness was shot in the heart at close range. A single shot, she died instantly. Was the Baroness drugged before she was murdered? She was quite unsteady and seemed very drowsy. We met her on the stairs. I fell unconscious. Tranquilizer. According to the captain, several people drank from the same bottle, so the sedative must have been in the glass and not in the bottle. Captain DeConti says that he gave me Dr. Gebhardt's glass, so maybe the real target wasn't me, but rather the doctor? Could be. Wait, are there any secrets? More secrets? I'm looking for clues that could lead us to the killer. Legrand gave me permission to search the Baroness's cabin. Yeah, I know we haven't gone there yet. I'm gonna go look everywhere else first once, then we go to her cabin. Let's see here. We've been here once, but I'm thinking maybe we triggered something cool, new, I don't know. Wait. There we go. It's so important that I must be tweeting right now, of course. Let's go just see if anyone's over here. I'm thinking that maybe the rich girl is over there, I don't know. Maybe not that many people up here. New. Whoops, daisy. Here we go. Over here, I'm thinking. No. Okay, cool. Let's go to the Baroness's cabin. Yay! Awesome. I like his watch and his yellow shirt. Ah. He's so naturally built. I love him. Constable Zellner. We're not this spinky youngster. It's cool. It's cool.
This is the first murder scene I've ever set foot in.
There's blood. Okay.
The door frame was damaged when Dr. Gebhardt kicked it in. The real question is, why was the door locked in the first place? Assuming the murderer isn't a magician, and the Baroness locked the door herself before she went to bed, the murderer couldn't have left the cabin through the door.
Nope.
So, the murderer must have still been in here when Dr. Gebhardt kicked the door in. Which is unlikely because someone would have seen him. Or he found another way out of the cabin.
More probable, I would say.
The most unportable portmanteau I've ever seen.
Ah, portable cupboard portmanteau. Oh, it's one of those.
A
Whoa.
portable bar is more like it.
Ooh.
Must be hard work transporting this big, heavy thing halfway around the globe. And the Baroness was lucky that the other freight cars were only lightly damaged by the explosion.
Whoa.
An impressive piece, but I don't think it'll get me anywhere with the murder investigations.
You're just deciding that, dude. You're totally just deciding that. Wait, what am I? Oh, here. Haha. I saw you.
The notepad has the ship's emblem on it. I suppose all the first-class cabins have them.
Oh! Ooh! Inspector. Be in the saloon at 10 p.m. Yeah, she said something about that. Didn't she? There is a murderer on board, and I will expose him. Well, that's probably the person she saw when she kind of fainted outside the boat, right? Outside the ship. Ooh.
It says, Inspector, be in the saloon at 10 p.m. There is a murderer on board and I will expose him. B. The Baroness seems to have known the murderer. And that means that the Raven can't be the murderer. He never killed anybody. Legrand probably never got the message. Otherwise, he'd have said something.
Yep. That is some pretty good evidence, right? Ooh, hello, mannequin.
The mannequin surely came with the cabin. A mannequin for the Baroness's clothes would have a more generous figure.
Yeah. I'm trying to think that if I would need a mannequin a bit bigger than that, maybe a little. Not that I would hang my clothes by mannequin, but if I did... Oh, no. Back. That was not what I meant to do. I meant to do this.
Sunflowers. By Van Gogh, I presume. He liked to paint that sort of thing. Can't be an original. They cost thousands of francs.
Yeah, they totally do.
A big, ugly, and impractical vase. If it had a wider opening, one could at least use it as an umbrella stand. Can't see anything. Wow, heavier than it looks.
Feathers?
Aha! Nothing special. Although, it seems like one of the feathers was scorched at the top. Literally burnt.
Oh.
I'd better take it with me.
Yes, I think you should.
The message from the desk of the Baroness.
Okay, yeah, we know.
Why were the down feathers tossed in the vase? Or is there anything else in there? There may be something else in the vase, but the neck is too narrow to reach in with my hand.
Yeah. Okay, so we need an item for that? Cool.
A tape recorder. Must go with the built-in speakers. Probably part of the cabin's furnishings. The tape recorder is older than the hills, but it was once very expensive. Top of the range. And it doesn't come cheap. Strange. There's only one reel. And it's the wrong one. No. No sign of the original reel. A reel made by Zeibling. I know the brand. Zeibling's tapes can be overwritten many times without losing quality. They're used in offices so that executives can record messages for the secretaries on the same tape over and over again. But they're not good for much else. They're robust, but they don't offer much in terms of sound quality.
Okay, cool.
There's still blood on the mattress. The sheet and the blanket have already been removed. To analyze them, I suppose. Nothing. The blood spot is the only sign that someone committed a crime in here. Somehow... That's odd. The blood is so... red. Shouldn't it gradually darken in the air? Turn brown?
Yes.
The unusual color of the blood could be something that Legrand and Dr. Gebhardt missed last night.
Yes, I think so.
All cats are gray in the dark, as the saying goes. I should take a sample.
With something. Okay, cool. Under the bed.
Something's under there. More feathers. And they're singed as well. I'll put them with the others.
Cool. No. Don't change camera, please. I wasn't here.
The portholes face the side deck. If someone climbed out of the cabin through a porthole, Legrand and I would have seen them. The portholes are locked. One cannot open or close them from outside. It's the same problem as with the door. If someone left the cabin through the porthole, how did they lock it? And the Baroness wasn't shot from outside. The doctor said she was shot at close range.
Yes, he did say that.
Apparently, the Baroness didn't have time to unpack her bags. Or rather, didn't have time to tell her butler to unpack them for her.
Rather that.
Sifting through all that would take ages. But here, the Baroness's handbag.
That could be more interesting.
Aha. A small leather-bound book. 1964 is engraved on it. This must be the Baroness's diary.
Cool.
Let's see.
Oops, I want to search the handbag. Oh well.
Yes, it's a diary, all right. Difficult to read. No entry from yesterday. A brief, sober description of what she's done recently. Met Morris, arranged benefit concert for renovation of Louvre Southeastern Wing, Times photo shoot for Eye of Sphinx, BM, poor excuse for photographer, too fidgety. And so on. This entry looks strange. The handwriting is shaky, difficult to read. Dreamt of Bobby. Yesterday would have been his birthday. Next week, Jay's.
Oh. Search the handbag.
Cosmetics, a handkerchief, a spectacles case. Nothing special.
Are you sure?
The Baroness was a very busy woman, and it looks like she had to cope with loss. She writes about Bubby and Jay. Neither seem to be alive anymore.
No, I got the
Almost
impression
every
too.
family lost loved ones in the war. Maybe hers as well.
Could be.
I'll leave it there. I don't have time to read all of it.
Aw. We should totally just take it, grab it, and go. Okay, what do I have here? Not much. Wait, can't we play the audio tape? No? No. We cannot. Okay, I guess we'll leave. And, yeah. We have to... Oh! Hello.
The Baroness's butler looks like he didn't get much sleep. I would describe his facial expression as worried.
Let's go talk to him then.
Hello, Mr. Inch.
Oh, Constable, hello.
You look the worse for wear. It must be terrible for you.
Quite terrible. No one will hire me now.
Excuse me?
My mistress was murdered. Would you hire a butler who's been mixed up in a murder?
But if it turns out that you're not guilty...
If. But what if not? Who else would they blame? There are no gardeners on this ship.
I understand your
Whoa.
problem. Under these circumstances, I'm sure you'd answer some questions that could help clear your name, wouldn't you?
Of course.
Did you notice anything suspicious last night?
No, sir. After the Baroness went to the saloon, I went to the forecastle. I was there until the alarm went off. I went to the side deck and arrived shortly after Professor Lucien and Miss Miller. We found you and Inspector Legrand there. You were unconscious, and the inspector asked us to take care of you.
Oh.
Did you hear the gunshot?
No, just the alarm, sir.
You said you were on the forecastle. It sounded like the Baroness let you have the rest of the night off.
Not entirely, sir. One of the crew informed me that the Baroness wanted to be roused at 10:15.
That's true.
Right. Why was that?
I suppose that she wanted to toast the success of the journey with the captain and the other passengers.
She hadn't intended to take a nap then.
That was not her way, sir. She had a lot of spirit, shall we say, when it came to social engagements and a glass or two of champagne.
True. Fair enough.
The Baroness's cabin seems to have been ransacked.
Indeed, sir, by the Baroness herself.
Really?
She was searching for something the entire afternoon.
And did she find it?
I think she did, sir, yes. She was in high spirits when she finally left her cabin.
You wouldn't happen to know
Okay,
what she
okay.
was looking for, would you?
I'm afraid not.
Would you describe the Baroness
I'm
as
gonna go with
orderly?
no.
Well, she always had a lot of responsibilities, sir.
That doesn't answer my question.
She used to take a lot of luggage on journeys, and I helped her keep track of it as best I could. She was always very angry when she couldn't find something.
What about the photos and the documents I saw in her cabin?
I really don't know. They were out of bounds to me, sir. Memories from the war, I'd say. They meant a lot to her.
Alright. Ooh.
The Baroness seemed to be pretty drunk the last time I saw her.
Is that so?
Does that surprise you? Did the Baroness not drink?
Oh, yes, she drank. It was no secret.
I understand. How serious was her habit?
Serious enough, sir.
Was she under any medical supervision?
Certainly not, sir. She adamantly refused to see a doctor. Like so many elderly women, she had a distinct aversion to hospitals and the like.
Woo. Alright.
How long had you worked for the Baroness?
6 months, sir.
Only 6 months. I always thought that butlers stayed with their employers for decades.
Those decades have to start at some
Very
point,
true.
Constable. Her former butler wasn't able to fulfill his duties any longer. Gout, sir.
I understand.
I took on his duties and hoped for a secure position for the next 20 years.
Yes.
May I ask what happened to your arm?
A souvenir from the war, sir.
Doesn't
What
it
kind of
hinder
souvenir
your
you
work?
want?
Yes, sir, obviously.
I didn't mean to offend you.
The Baroness had a soft spot for disabled veterans. I think she'd been through a lot herself.
I think that's all for now.
Please, sir, find the murderer. You have to clear me of all suspicion.
Sure. I'm trying to. Let's see here if we can find any new entries. Maybe here. No. I think there's more than just feathers stuck in the vase, but my hand's too big to reach in. Here, James the butler. James is worried about the consequences for his career if the murderer isn't caught. The Baroness's death in itself doesn't seem to concern him much, possibly because he's only been in her service for a couple of months. Alright, cool. I guess we can go and give him the paper and, you know, talk to Le Grand or such. There we go.
Come in.
Come in, dude. Come in, dude. With so much good news. You couldn't believe.
Constable,
Couldn't believe.
About the tranquilizer.
who gave you the glass of champagne?
It was Captain de Conti.
You're sure?
He doesn't deny it, but he also says that the glasses passed through many hands that night and that everyone had access to the champagne.
So it could have been anyone.
Maybe the question isn't who put the poison in the glass, but rather who it was they wanted to poison.
Smart. And who were they trying to poison?
Dr. Gebhardt? The captain got the glass from him.
An unconscious ship's doctor. That sounds like it would be more use to a murderer than a drugged constable.
It does.
You think so? Did the murderer have reason to assume that his shot might not kill the victim immediately and that Dr. Gebhardt would be able to save her?
You're right. That's improbable. My ego is just searching for reasons for them to want to kill her, and not me. Good job, Zelna.
I found feathers in the Baroness's cabin.
Really?
Yes, they were in a vase next to the door.
I hope this is leading up to some information that justifies this interruption.
Not
Some
really.
of the feathers are singed.
Show me. Well, you may have something here.
I think that someone fired a shot through a pillow or something like that, and the muzzle flash scorched the down.
Yes, possible. Try to find the pillow and we'll take it from there.
I took a closer look at the blood spot from the Baroness's bed.
Yes, what's wrong with it?
It looks odd.
Odd?
I think it should be darker.
I understand. The iron in blood causes
Yes,
it to
exactly.
darken the longer it's exposed to the air.
Exactly.
Right. And
We don't have time to waste. Dr. Gebhardt examined the body thoroughly. He would have noticed if anything was wrong.
you trust Dr. Gebhardt completely.
I trust everyone as much as is advisable. There will be a complete autopsy in Cairo. Until then, the doctor is one of the few people on board who is not a suspect. You, him, the stowaway, Constable Oliver, and I all have alibis.
There are still enough suspects left.
There are. Okay, the note, dude. The
I
note.
was able to make the traces of a note on the Baroness's notepad legible. She wrote that a murderer is on board and that she'll unmask him. She asks the recipient to meet her in the saloon at 10 p.m. If we can find the recipient.
I was the recipient.
Monsieur?
When I entered my cabin last night, I found a message on the floor. Someone must have slipped it under the door.
Why didn't you say anything about it?
I didn't know that I was obliged to.
We are partners.
Not really. You're helping me out until we reach Cairo, because you somehow managed to remain on board.
But
I'll choose when and with whom I share information. You can accept that and continue assisting me, or you can spend the rest of the journey on a deck chair thinking about missed opportunities.
And none of this is by any chance related to the fact that the message doesn't suit your Raven theory. The Baroness knew the murderer from the past, and he was already a murderer when he boarded the ship. The Raven was always just a thief, not a murderer.
Careful, Constable. Are you accusing me of perverting the facts?
Of course not, monsieur.
Then let's get back to work. Good day, Constable.
I'll be in touch if I uncover more clues.
Very well.
Okay, well that was helpful. Not. I guess we should take a couple rounds on the ship again. And
Neither Dr. Gebhardt nor Constable Oliver can keep up with Legrand's pace. But in contrast to good old Robert, the doctor doesn't let himself get roped in for the long haul. I wonder what would happen if Legrand dragged him out of bed for another investigation. Dr. Gebhardt locked the door, and until I have good reason, I won't wake him up. Something tells me that he wouldn't be amused.
yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Dr. Gebhardt,
Yeah. Alright, I guess we'll have to walk around and like look for other people and stuff. I don't know. We don't have that much inventory. Like, we really don't. I'm thinking because the butler's triggered now, maybe someone else is triggered? Or something else? I don't know. I have no idea. La 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 la.
I shouldn't bother her. Her mind is still razor sharp, and I'll need it to crack this case. I don't want to...
See if we can talk to these people.
I'm sure Captain DeConti wouldn't mind a chat, but I don't think he can help me at the moment.
It's probably true. Let's go to the after deck, yeah. There's no one here. There's no... Oh! Chain of light. Oops.
Did Edison have any idea what would become of his invention?
No, I don't think so. Side deck. Alright, let's go everywhere again and see if we can find anything to do or trigger or whatever. I guess. There's not a lot here. We'll go to the Forksel, or however they pronounce it. The Forecastle, we could examine the door, talk to Oliver. Not much other stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna pause here. Woohoo! And we'll continue next time trying to figure out what to do on the cruise ship. Chapter 1 is really long in this game. We have Chapter 2 and Chapter 3 left too. I don't know what more is gonna happen, but this is so cool. Alright, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you later.